VietBuzz.
Welcome to VietBuzz, the bonus show. This show is designed specifically for you, viewers who do not speak or understand Vietnamese so well. And I understand. As someone who grew up here, learning 2 languages and adopting 2 cultures simultaneously, I understand the benefits as well as the challenges. With that said, we had a fantastic time with some very funny ladies. Let's take a look. My lovely guests and I, we did open up a little bit in regards to how we go about when we are mad at our men. Let's take a look at the hilarious highlights. Tracy, hành động của Tracy là silent treatment, phải không? Chiến tranh lạnh. Học được cái từ mới hay quá. Rồi chị là la mà tùy. Sometimes dùng phổi ca sĩ để mà la. Bele thì you always seem so nice to me. Yvon không có thể tưởng tượng được khi mà giận chồng thì làm gì.
Tại chồng của Bele cũng really easy going lắm, hai người cũng hợp lắm, thì mình cũng tha thứ nhau thôi.
Well, chị, I guess
cuối cùng thì cũng
là phải không? Không phải là không thôi là phải giống như là Brangelina rồi.
Và có khi Bele khóa cửa ở trong phòng Bele rồi xong.
Cái này mới, cái này là tự lắc vào, tự coi như là tự lắc.
Ủa sao mà khi có chị khóa?
Không phải là phạt bản thân mà không phải phạt chồng vậy.
Không phải là khóa cửa ở ngoài, chỉ là cái bedroom thôi nha.
Còn người đẹp này sao?
How about you, Jade?
Còn em á thì em mỗi lần mà giận thì đi ngủ. Phải đi ngủ.
Sướng vậy.
Wow, I like
đi ngủ được mới là hay chứ. Sao mà ngủ được hay vậy? Ngủ lắm.
Dạ không, giận giống như là không biết tại sao em là giận mà giữ ở trong á. Rồi em không có muốn nói ra nhiều. Ngày xưa em cũng nóng tính lắm, hay đập đồ này nọ lúc còn trẻ mà. Đập đồ hay đập đồ. Mà nhớ đồ nó thật
rẻ hơn nhiều.
Dạ cho nên là thôi bây giờ mua lại đồ nha, đập laptop, tivi đồ mua lại nhiều quá, em tốn tiền tại ngồi làm cũng mệt.
Tự hại mình.
Dạ cho nên là thôi đi ngủ đi. Đi ngủ là vậy là hết liền, quên liền.
Mà cái đó rất là thông minh, tại vì khi mà đang giận đó đi ngủ còn lại được dưỡng lại beauty rest phải không?
Con đi ngủ được.
Rồi vài người rồi Yvon không muốn trả lời. I know.
Oh well. Thì he nói I have a death stare. So death stare là cái gì?
Mắt
Dệt ra là như thế nào?
Như là trợn mắt hả? Trợn mắt lên.
Giống
Không trợn, chỉ có nhìn như vậy.
Like nhìn vô không trung giống như là mình nhìn mà không có hồn, cái nhìn không có hồn.
Đang kiếm cái tiếng Việt gì dùng vậy?
Dạ, nhìn vô hồn.
Như là chết luôn.
Là nếu như mà nhìn crazy like that. Just there.
We see it, Yvon?
Can you do it to the camera? Tracy là dọn hết nhà mà không nói một tiếng gì đó.
Ở đây còn ai giận thích dọn nhà rửa chén gì nói
ngày xưa em cũng có nhưng mà giờ hết rồi.
Rồi nhà Tracy mà dơ là đang vui. Mà sạch là đang giận.
Well, we had many views in common. It was very apparent that some of us did approach relationships a little differently, especially when we're not too happy with our significant others. So we had Tracy, who likes cleaning and she does the silent treatment. We also had Bele, who sweetly closes the door, locks herself in her bedroom. We also had Vannessa, who uses her very well-practiced singer's lungs to yell, only sometimes. And then of course we had Jade. Jade calmly goes to sleep when she's not happy with her man. Very lucky man, I guess. But only after she's trained herself and went away from throwing tantrums and breaking expensive electronic devices. I've been told that I give the ultimate death stare.
But enough relationship talk. It's time for a beauty talk. Let's discuss one of the trends I've been hearing so much about, the V-shaped face.
So I'm bringing in a friend to talk about it, Dr. Tsay of Ageless MD in Tustin. Now, this right now is one of the most coveted shapes by YouTubers and beauty influencers online, and that's how it got me very curious about this topic. Please tell me more.
Well, I think V-shape has been a symbol of youth for a long time anyway. Just naturally as we age, gravity tends to pull everything down. So we start off like a V, and then over time, over decades and many, many years, gravity pulls everything down to the lower third of the face, and then becomes an inverted V. And so to look youthful, you want to reverse that trend and get back to the V. So that's been around, but then really the V-shape got really popular, I think, with the whole K-pop trend the last decade or so. And if you look at all the Korean actors and actresses and singers, you know, they're all they all look like, you know, a V shape, and they have surgery or procedures to achieve that if they don't have that already.
Gotcha. So it started with the K-pop culture, the K-pop entertainers and singers.
Yeah, that really made it huge, at least in the Asian community.
Gotcha.
And most of half of my clients are probably Asian, and they've already heard about it before, and so then they come in, they already know like to ask for it.
Well, I'm not surprised. I think the K-pop culture starts everything right now, right?
Right,
All
yeah,
the beauty trends.
exactly.
Now, how do you help someone who wants to have a V-shaped face?
So you've got to be the right candidate. I mean, there's different options available. There's the most aggressive, which is surgery, where you can actually make an incision inside your mouth and shave down some of the bone, your mandible, the bone here that sticks out. And when you shave that down, it completely transforms your face, and it is a more permanent solution.
Gotcha.
Less invasive, you can actually inject Botox, which a lot of people know what Botox is, but you basically inject Botox into the masseter muscles. You have to be a good candidate, because if you're just a chubby or overweight person and you need to lose weight, well, a simple weight loss program would help you achieve that. But if you've got like a squarish jaw, think of someone like Sandra Bullock.
Oh, okay.
So she's got a very squarish jaw, and if you were to inject the Botox, what it does is it relaxes the muscle, or it makes it not work. And like, for example, when you work out and then you stop working out, the muscles will get smaller. So you're basically making that muscle smaller. And over time, when the muscle's smaller, it will go in and you will have a slimmer looking face.
So does that mean, because you mentioned working out, so does that mean that the more we use our jaws, chewing, talking, clenching, that it's just going to keep getting bigger over time?
Well, you're not going to get so big where you have an elephant head. But honestly, like half of my clients that come in requesting for the V shape and they do have a prominent jaw, when I ask them, do you grind your teeth at night? Half of them say, I do. And they never realized that they did. And so by grinding the teeth, the muscles are constantly working out all the time, subconsciously in their sleep. When you wake up, they feel soreness in the jaw, they may have a headache, and sometimes they do realize that they're grinding at night. And so that's called bruxism, and when you Botox the muscle there, it does help with that condition as well as giving them a slimmer jaw.
Okay. Now, besides the jaw slimming, what else do people ask to get that? Because I know some of the V-shaped face is all about that pointiness too, right? That's that V at the end.
Correct. So the chin is the vertex of the V. So if someone has a smaller chin, not only can you bring in slim the muscles, but you can also add a filler and make the chin pointy and achieve that V look. Especially a lot of people, if you look at the face, they may have a flat chin or their chin kind of has a squarish look. So you can simply just inject a filler in there and get a V jaw or chin. I have a filler myself.
Interesting. And all of this can be done with fillers and injections and Botox. So non-surgical procedures are required.
Exactly. Now, one other thing that I want to add, sometimes people, even if you slim the jaw and even if you add the filler on the chin, they may have a bit of fat protruding from their cheeks here.
It's genetics, right?
Absolutely
it's that
genetics.
part.
You can be 100 pounds, skinny as can be, and have chipmunk cheeks. So you can actually go with a procedure, go inside the cheek and make an incision and pull out the fat. That's called buccal fat surgery. So that on top of jaw slimming and adding a chin can completely transform your face.
Wow. The buccal fat, though, is permanent versus the fillers and the jaw slimming Botox.
Correct, exactly.
Okay. Now, how often do you have to go back to redo the Botox or the jaw slimming and the chin if you were to use the fillers?
So with the Botox, you can inject the Botox in the masseters, and you probably want to maintain it. It doesn't take an effect until about 3 to 4 weeks after the procedure. However, you do need to maintain it. So it is not permanent. You do need to maintain it probably 3 times a year that you need to get the Botox injected into the jaw. For the chin filler, you can do a filler once a year approximately that would last a year using Juvenile Voluma, for example. And for the buccal fat, of course, that's permanent long term.
Gotcha. Now, with this being so popular right now, the V-shape, have you seen a big increase in the requests at your practice?
Yeah, I would say majority of the people that ask for it, that have heard about it before, they're usually Asian. And of course, the Michang or non-Asian people, other ethnicities, they may not have heard about it. But it's up to me to make that recommendation if they may have a prominent jaw.
What does the price range look like? Whether it's the permanent solution to the less permanent solutions with the injections?
For the Botox, like I said, each time you get the Botox injected, it's based on how many units. And so it could range from $700 to $1,000, depending on what the practice charges for the Botox.
Is it depending on the size of the jaw? Or
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if you have a
units?
smaller jaw, you may need less units. If you have a more prominent jaw, then you would need more units, absolutely.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and for the filler, it depends on, usually, one syringe would be enough to create a new chin. Although if you really had no chin to begin with, you may need a little bit more, but usually one syringe is sufficient.
Gotcha.
And that we would do about once a year.
Once a year.
Correct.
Okay. And then of course the buccal fat is the more permanent one. And that I'm assuming would cost a little bit more, but it's a one-time fee.
It's a one-time procedure, yeah.
So if someone wants to come into the office and want all 3 things done, what's the price range looks like?
So you probably want to make sure you're the right candidate. You probably want to make sure that they're open to doing the incision, because that's surgical. Although you're really awake the whole time, it's done with local anesthesia, so you're not really asleep or put asleep, because you do need to be awake to follow instructions. But the buccal fat can run from $1,500 to a few $1,000s, depending on where their filler per syringe. So they generally would range from $700-800 to a little bit over $1,000. I've seen some famous surgeons charge $3,000 to $4,000 per syringe for the filler.
Wow.
Exactly.
But you mentioned that it's not for everyone. You do have to be the right candidate for it. What would be some concrete suggestions if someone is considering to have something like this done, or at least just look into it?
You want to, first of all, find out if that person does quite a bit of them, because I've had people come from many miles away to see me, and they've called other places and they've been simply denied because they don't do enough of these. Maybe because these practices don't have the Asian clientele. So I think someone that has at least some Asian population, because Asians will ask for it.
Right.
And also you want to make sure it's not a good candidate for everybody. So make sure that they're not just trying to push the procedure on you, even though you're not a good candidate. For example, if you've got a round face and you may be a little heavier set and you simply just need to lose weight, I would just tell them to go home and go on a weight loss program, or go on my weight loss program and lose some weight, and they could achieve the look that they're trying to get.
Right. So it's that. It comes down to that. It's whether or not they have the right facial features to be considered the right candidate.
Right. You have to have prominent jaw muscles, or the masseter muscles we call them, that are involved with chewing and when you bite down. And you can see it. I mean, you bite down, you can see the muscles bulging out, and it's very obvious.
And a good consultation will go through all of this too.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Dr.
Okay,
Tsay.
my
I
pleasure.
learned so much.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been seeing this all over YouTube, and I'm like, what is this? But good to know.
Awesome.
So,
Thanks for having me.
VietBuzz would like to thank Nguyen Nippers Corporation in Garden Grove, California, Roma Furniture in Placentia, California, and Dr. T.J. Tsay and you for joining our show today. See you next time.